So much perversion in such a tiny package.
The show makes me want to die.
I don't think I've ever been so disappointed in Vorn in my life.
Why, hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Anime Club. With me is Realm Shifter.
Death.
Seki,
Death.
Death.
and
Death.
Born.
We might as well just play the visual novel.
Only Realm Shifter deserves any kind of happiness today.
I just want death.
Because Seki is Seki, and Vorn gave us this show.
Yeah, because I didn't fucking check shit.
The second worst thing I've watched this week.
What's the first?
Cats.
Yeah. Okay, but you know what the difference was? I didn't see anybody French the back of a girl's leg pretending to be a doggy.
You
in
didn't?
Cats.
They might have.
They did not. There was no
Okay.
Frenching in Cats.
Okay, but I'm already gonna demote the freaking Cats to the worst thing I've seen this week as well, simply because, the CGs.
I'm not gonna lie. Do you know what puts Cats above this anime for me?
I don't
The fact
particularly
that
care.
Ian McKellen's character was fantastic and the tap dancer was amazing.
Well, I guess spoilers alert for Amagami SS episodes 1 through 12. That's the
And
first three
Cats
arcs.
the movie.
And Cats the movie, because that might come up in comparison at some point, I guess.
No, we're not gonna bring up Cats again.
We really shouldn't anymore.
We upload this in its Amagami SS -cat.
We won't. Anyways, I do not want to spend any time more than I have to talking about this anime. So let's get into it.
Yay! Let's play the new game!
No, we're not playing the game. We watched the anime, and that's the problem.
No, I said the new game of
I don't-
Murder, Date.
No, we're not
Mary.
going to play that game. We're not going to drag this out that way. You're going to say episode 1, we're all going to give our thoughts, then you're going to say episode 2, etc., etc.
Well, I suppose
Fine.
that to speed this up, let's get into the usual waifu wars.
No,
Waifu
I don't
wars?
have a waifu here.
Okay, well, too bad. It's still a mandatory segment.
It was
So-
your idea that this is a mandatory segment.
So this is a
Waifu
mandatory
Wars?
segment.
Waifu Wars?
Yeah,
Alright, does anyone actually have a waifu here?
Yeah.
not really, honestly. I guess just for
No,
when we
this
do-
can just be a wash. If none of us actually have a waifu, this can be a wash.
Okay, but if we have to pick someone, and if it's going to be for the next Waifu Wars, the special edition that we do, I'm just going to have someone.
Oh, I have a waifu. have a
I
waifu.
don't.
That man who suddenly in the bathroom starts speaking random English at the end of the very last episode.
Oh,
the
the
director.
director!
Yeah.
Director Kun!
Director Kun.
Director Kun.
He's the only character I really, truly liked.
If I had to choose a girl's,
But we don't have to, because there's going to be more than 4 episodes before the next waifu wars comes around.
I'm just saying, if I had
So it's a
to,
wash for me.
it would either be the shy girl or the classroom president. Otherwise, fuck it.
Since I was originally going to pick the classroom president, but since we didn't get her in this arc, I'm going with the Kohai.
Did you watch further?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I just because she's a recurring character in all of the other arcs.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
But we didn't get to see her arc, so
Yeah, this ain't getting Smith back in the hat.
Yeah, no, we're never watching this again. Alright, Vorn, why don't you get us started on the episodes here?
Hey, it's your job. You named the arcs. Go for it.
Okay. Arc 1. And thus, Incel met Airhead Girl.
So, okay, let me summarize this as briefly as possible, and then y'all can give your thoughts and we can move on, right?
yes.
So there's this really, really creepy boy, and this girl who's like, I'm gonna play with his feelings, right? I'm gonna tell him that I like responsible boys, and he's like, we'll see about that. I'm gonna lick the back of her leg and compare myself to a dog because I know she likes dogs, and then I'm gonna tell her to pretend that I've kidnapped her, and then I'll feed her noodles by hand while everyone watches in an amazing show of exhibitionism to make her lunch more interesting to her, because that's all she asked him to do, and that's that.
Well,
I'm not wrong.
in a nutshell, they did it doggy style.
Literally!
Yeah. Yes. Quite literally.
Oh.
Quite literally. So let's get some premise for the show as well stated. There is, since this is a PS2 game, they could not put any H scenes in. So they did the next closest thing, and it's freaking cringeworthy. Oh my god, I want to die!
Lower the volume.
Seriously, yeah.
2 minutes in, if you don't even watch the thing, you just hear it, you already know that's NSF. And that's just 2 minutes in.
Okay.
I mean, it's not good. I think all four of us agree objectively that this is the worst of the 3 arcs that we were subjected to. It is the most cringeworthy.
All right, but
I don't know what cringe is, so I can't say I cringe.
Cringe is something that makes you go, ugh.
Yeah.
Cringe isn't a...
It, like, makes you cringe. Like,
It isn't a feeling, it is a state of being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
the
no,
fact
I
that
don't think I cringe
when
at
he
all.
started Frenching the back of her leg,
That was
I
cringe.
screamed in Knick Knack's ear and hid under a blanket until it was done.
I just said,
I
did the sigh and this. That's what,
Yeah, I did that too. But then when he started barking, I'm not.
Okay, let's move on. He's
Well-
a creepy weirdo.
All right, okay. One thing I actually do respect, though, is his weird, like, space room. How the fuck did he do that? I want to do that.
Oh yes, I would love one of those in my closet.
That was the only cool thing about this arc, was that space room, and it's not important.
It's consistent throughout the rest of the series,
Yeah.
though. But he probably got like some like poster or something like that and did it with.
No, I
that.
think it's more glitter or something.
Maybe.
Oh god, the
We'll never
herpes of
know.
craft.
And it's literally not even important anymore.
Yeah.
Come on,
Also,
second.
but before we move on to the next arc, last comment upon the heroine, if you can even call her that in this arc, is a T.H.E.
It feels like the anime knew she was a terrible character.
Yeah,
Because it spends the latter half of the rest of the arc of the show just shitting all over her.
I'll put it out there. Does anyone have anything nice to say about the first 4 episodes?
No. Nothing.
As
Hang on.
long as
first 4 episodes.
as long as she keeps her mouth shut, she looks nice.
So no, nothing nice to say. Let's move on.
Ooh.
That is something to say, Warren.
I mean, her mouth is open more often than a porn star's, so...
Yeah, that is true.
Mm.
But moving on to
What would
Okay,
you call
arc.
Arc 2?
Arc 2. Adventure out of the friend zone.
pretty much.
Oh god. From the friend zone out of the friend zone.
Okay, this arc actually, I kind of wish this wasn't a romance arc, because the first, okay, actually, I didn't hate the way it ended either, but it kind of feels like this could have made a really good friend anime. Like, I actually thought they were written pretty well as friends. At one point, she literally bites him because, he was like, "You won't do it." Ah. A situation very familiar to Seki, if I might call her out on that.
Yes. Alright, let's preface this. If anyone ever meets me in person and you say bite me, there is a 99% chance I will absolutely bite you. Or fight me. I'll go through with that one too.
Yeah, no, as a friendship goes, written, it was actually a really well written friendship, and that's why their characters work even better in other arcs, I think.
They had good.
Yeah.
They had
You
good
watch that
character
first arc
dynamic.
and you're like, I hope she doesn't fall in love with him, because she was
Yeah.
actually kind of written. She was written really well.
I
Surprisingly,
actually said that to Nick Knack, was like, I really hope that she's never the object of any of these arcs.
They
Oh,
have
yeah.
very good character dynamic, and that's like the one saving grace of this arc.
I will say, this doesn't make it good.
No, it's not a
We're-
good show.
We're over here praising it because we're comparing it to Arc 1.
Yeah.
This is still not a good arc.
It's
Yeah.
not even a good anime.
Yeah.
Well, okay, nothing in here is good, but after a while, you have to admit
Some things are better than others.
the later arcs are kind of a relief.
The only
Yeah.
reason that this gets a pass as an arc is because of the first arc.
Yeah. It doesn't even get a pass, it just gets a D
Uh.
instead of an F.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next arc?
Well, no, we got to spend a little bit of
No, I
time on
mean,
this.
We gotta spend
Okay.
a little
Okay,
bit more
they
time
do
on it.
post cringe here too.
Yeah,
Yes.
so, that one of the girls has a part-time job.
Well, that's the main.
Yeah, she's got a part-time job, which the other one didn't have.
Library kissing, the most stupidest thing to ever do.
Yep, there's the cringe.
Yeah, there's the
The
cringe.
The only cringe, real, like, actually cringe moment of this arc.
And the recurring point we didn't mention in the first one of Christmas Eve.
Okay, that's
yeah,
just like
we
something they act like it's a
Yeah, we
theme or
forgot.
something.
Actually, we
Yeah.
should mention this. So, for the main
Well,
character,
no, Christmas Eve is just important to him.
yeah,
He
okay.
got stood
So
up.
he got stood up, and that's about it, basically. So he's heartbroken. And he's scared to fall in love, even though he wants to find someone. Apparently,
Basically, every arc begins with him being broken up on, or being, being stood up on Christmas Eve, and then the following, it ends on Christmas Eve with him getting laid
Yeah.
or close to laid.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't like a white Christmas supposed to be some symbolism in Japan though?
It
I
actually
don't
might be,
know.
but the cultural significance is lost, so let's not.
Yeah.
Well, in Japan, isn't is it white that you wear to funerals? Because I know,
yes,
Yeah.
a white Christmas probably isn't that great of a.
of an omen in
Yeah.
Japanese
No,
culture.
I think it's supposed to be like some kind of special level.
But then
or
again,
something,
Christmas
I don't know.
isn't exactly a Japanese holiday, so
Yeah.
Traditional Japanese Christmas cuisine of Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
So,
Quite literally.
So it doesn't really matter to us all that much. We just know that this is a thing for him.
Yeah.
There
So
might be
all
some.
of these arcs
thing
end
going
on
on.
Christmas Eve,
Yeah.
basically.
I just kind of wonder. I don't think it happens in this anime at all, but I wonder what the bad ending is in the game for this.
We can go look it up. but
Yeah. I'll look it up
Oh.
on my own time.
Yeah,
But
on your own
anyways.
time. We don't need to subject ourselves.
yeah.
That was the only like truly cringe scene in this arc. There was actually, if this arc had not been a romance, it probably would have been an okay slice of life.
Yeah, possibly.
But
I
it,
still wouldn't have liked it.
Oh no, but also we know you don't generally like slice of life either. I don't
Yeah.
either.
Yeah. Not when it's the main.
As someone who likes slice of life, if this were not a romance, what would you have?
I would have honestly thought this was fine if this was not a slice of life. If this was a slice of life arc, like,
Okay.
just yeah.
Yeah.
So that's basically our combined thoughts on it. Is fine, but not good, not great.
If this was such life, for me, below average.
Yeah.
Actually, I kind of want to bring up here. I kind of wish it was one show all the way through. But that being said, I wouldn't want the main heroine of the first arc to be the arc all the way through.
No.
If it were one show all the way through and they had picked an even more tolerable romance or romantic partner, it might have been a much better show.
Yeah.
I literally think that the creators knew that okay, Airhead Girl is the worst arc. Let's get her out of the way.
Well,
Mm.
so
I'll
Yeah.
get to it when we get to the final arc, but there were some amazing burns by the show on her in that final arc.
should we move on to the final arc?
Well,
now?
there are some burns on this arc as well.
Yes.
What will we see the aftermath of the costume contest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just for the viewers, the first arc was about a protagonist named Haruka Morishima. The second one's about a protagonist named Kaoru Tanamachi, and the third one will be Sei Nakata.
Now, okay, two things that we learn. Okay, we're moving on, but I'm gonna make sure we're moving on to the third and final.
Oh
one.
yeah. What is your name for this?
For the final arc? How to Train Your Kohai.
Hang on. I think Realm had something he wanted to say first.
I know I did, but I wanted Nick to actually get
Yeah.
out the way, but he
Oh,
did,
okay.
so it's fine. So, How to Train Your Kohai is very accurate for this arc. And two things for this arc. We get the addition of a narrator, which actually I think would have been handy in the beginning of this series. I don't know why they didn't do it sooner. But anyway.
Yeah.
But anyways. And then we actually start, instead of in the middle of like the fall, which all these other arcs have been as of late, we actually start in the summer this time.
Actually, I believe it starts 2 years later, whereas it starts like immediately following it in the previous arcs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he actually spent, and this is something interesting, this last
Yeah,
arc.
2 years since the Christmas Eve incident.
In the other arcs, he's still moping about that Christmas Eve incident.
Well, no,
Yeah.
like all of them were 2 years after.
Were they?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
all 2 years after.
Yeah, they're all 2 years
Yeah.
after.
This is
Yeah.
like you actually see this scene like in the first one. It just he doesn't act on it.
Yeah, I do like that they do a 10 years later for like all of them.
They only did that for one of them.
Well, no, but they talk about like the future.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I know it.
They showed it in the first one, talked about it in the second one. At least they're being consistent,
Mm-hmm.
keeping up.
They didn't do 10 years for this arc.
Well, no,
No,
but
they
talked
did.
about
No,
it.
they actually did. They didn't actually do it for the other one, though.
Yeah. Anyways, so arc 3, How to Train Your Kohai.
Yeah.
This is the most traditional romance of the 3 arcs. It's written, okay, this is the funniest arc.
absolutely. This is the one where the comedic timing actually gets okay.
As a comedy, romance, rom-com, I guess, it was okay.
This was released in 2010, so I think like some of these
That
things
makes
were
none of it
still
better.
This is
normal trends.
Not.
So, yeah.
This is like with Seki's comparison. This is a D instead of an F.
Yeah. Like, these were both collective Ds to the F that was the first arc.
I can at least say this: it would have been fun teasing that girl. I would have a joy of a time.
Okay,
I really don't think so.
basically it took that part-time job from the first arc and decided that like his kohai wanted to get a part-time job too, because she liked the maid outfit.
Yeah.
But she's absolutely like a total like super shy, like just has no social skills, cannot talk to people outside of friends.
Also, can I talk about the giant ice cream parfait rumored to bind forever couples that eat it?
I took a picture of that and I showed it to Roman. I was like, if you require more than 2 people to eat it, does that mean you will have an eternal orgy?
Yes.
All I can think of are those food challenges where one person goes at it, right? And then like after he finishes what he can finish, he's like, I give up, everyone come and have some. Like they're just locked in an eternal like 40 way.
Honestly. But when I saw that thing get plopped in front of them, I was just like, that's not a challenge for couples. That's a challenge for the guy on Man vs. Food.
Yeah.
my
Dude.
my thought was when they plopped that thing down and they started eating it, it's like, okay, if the couple actually eats it, yeah, no, they're destined to be together.
I mean, it's not wrong, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, like, it got plopped down in front of them, and their faces just said, oh, we actually have to go through with this, don't we?
Like that's the kind of thing that like I would eat with my platonic, wife.
Mhm.
And like if the two of us could make it through that together.
You set forever.
Yeah, like as it is, we're
Like-
almost there, but Jesus.
There
Okay.
were whole half bananas sticking out the side of that thing.
I think those were actually full bananas.
No, they
We
were
just didn't
full.
see.
But
Yeah.
they were. I think they were
half of them were sticking out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, y'all, I want to talk about my second favorite scene from this arc.
Okay.
The vending machine lunch lady.
Yes.
The director apologizing to all of them. Oh.
They put in a note, sorry to all lunch ladies, this is not meant to represent you, or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was glorious. It was like, I expected to go out there like, and just like imply it, she's like thinking about them as vending machines. No, they become fully moving vending machines, shaking side to side.
Yeah. Glorious vending machine scene.
Now, if only we actually had the continuation of all of the third arc and made that as an absolute anime, and we just watched that, we probably wouldn't actually be that angry.
I mean, I still wouldn't like it.
If the third
Yes, but
arc
we
were the
wouldn't
entire
be
show,
that angry.
I would appreciate it as a comedy with kind of meh romance plot lines.
Because, like, the weird thing about the romance in this arc is that it kind of just slowly happens. It's never really any, like, explicit thing until they're like, okay, basically until the movie date, essentially.
It also takes place over a longer time in.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
In
lot
show?
longer of a time period in the show than, like, the other arcs did. Like, they go through, like I stated earlier at the beginning, through the summer and to fall before their actual, like, relationship even develops. So this took a lot longer story time-wise.
I guess, quick question to you guys. Between arcs 2 and 3, because we're going to disregard arc 1, which was the more realistic romance in the show, do you think?
None of them were honestly all that realistic.
But in terms of the
If
show,
we had to choose two
probably,
for me,
I'd say 3.
Yeah, I'd say
Because it's
3.
just
honestly.
slower in
It's,
general.
it's slower. It's like more like kind of thing that just kind
I
of
think
happens.
the only reason that you move as fast as you do in 1 or 2 is if you want a fuck buddy.
Yeah. Or for in the case of 2, like I don't see how they moved out of the friend zone.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that wasn't clear.
It was just kind of like 2 felt like hamstrung
2
along by they have to get together.
2 felt like, hey, they're in the friend zone and we're not going to move them out of that. We're just also going to make them fuck.
Yeah.
But they're not going to be friends with
Right.
benefits. They're going to be friends to lovers.
Well, they can't exactly do the fucking though because
Well,
this
I
was
know,
a PS2
but like
game.
in terms of the dynamics.
Yeah.
So,
The last one felt a little bit shoehorned in, but it wasn't as egregious.
no.
Yeah.
Okay, but when they start the romance, led to my absolute favorite scene of the show, when she brings up, when he's like, I wish you were my little sister. She's like, I don't want to be your little sister. And it leads to that conversation like at school. And Morishima, the first girl from the first arc, comes up like she's about to drop some wisdom on them and is like, if she doesn't want to be your little sister, she wants to be your big sister. Or maybe even your mother.
Onesama.
Whatever the case may be, you have to play out your role as a little brother or son.
Which
It's
honestly
rather simple.
just makes me think of that one yaoi anime about the hot dad and the hot son. Oof.
What?
It was a thing.
Sounds very interesting. Sounds like something that might go in the hat at some point.
I'll send it to you. We can't actually put it in because it's explicit sex.
Oh,
okay,
it's a
now-
hentai.
Okay,
Yeah, no,
never
it's
mind.
full yaoi hentai.
Oh, okay.
I didn't mean it's yaoi as in like, oh, it's cute. No, I meant it's
Oh,
yaoi as
it's
in
like,
this
they're
man
banging.
is inserting something into another man.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I would have said boys love if I meant like
Nah, it's just a dude casually sticking in another dude's ass.
exactly.
This is the point, though, where the show kind of stopped trying to take itself as seriously, and I did enjoy that a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I still thought it was far too serious.
Yeah.
It didn't have nearly the level of cringes the other two arcs, though. The other two arcs had the Frenching with the leg and the belly.
Oh.
Instead, the cringiest scene was when her toes were sensitive.
Oh,
Yeah.
fish pond.
In the fish pond. That was like we got straight up like ASMR out of that.
That
Basically.
is
Yeah.
freaking feels weird whenever those fish come to your
Okay.
feet, though.
But when he, like, collapsed, the first thing that went through my head was that heesh in, like, how it should have ended of, was it Civil War, where Captain America's trying to hold on to the...
spoilers
Plane.
for Captain America: Civil War.
Yes, sorry. Trying to hold on to the plane and the shield building, and then it cuts to Bucky.
Triskelion.
Yeah, and the Triskelion. And then it cuts back to Cap, and he kisses his muscles, and then Bucky passes out and crashes the plane, screaming, "Too sexy."
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I think we should move on to our final thoughts.
How long have we been going?
Not very long.
This is going to be the shortest
okay.
one.
No, it won't.
Well, okay.
Fudanshi was shorter.
Hold on.
Oh.
Before we get got the one. There's actually one good scene that I do like from this, and that was actually the couple arc out of that one, where essentially they got them to the whole get up.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah.
It was at least
Yeah.
a decently nice, and apparently she was too embarrassed to admit that she made them those dresses herself.
I guess I need to address what my waifu even was, though.
I don't. Okay, so I'm putting it out there right now. I know there's going to be more than 4 episodes before the next Waifu Wars because we're kind of alternating. So I'm taking a loss on this one for even having a waifu because I genuinely hate every member
Yeah.
of this cast that I meet, and none of them are redeemable enough for me to be willing to argue them against anyone else from any other series we've seen so far.
I just want to say this. I don't want to do Waifu Wars. You guys can do Waifu Wars.
Well, what my was at the very end, because of that costume contest, they win VIP spots in a movie, which is actually better than the couples dinner. I don't know what that was about.
Maybe that was like a first class restaurant,
Maybe.
top the top.
Probably, honestly.
But they're sitting in this VIP like booth, and it's just so awkward. The male lead goes to the bathroom, and inside, the director of the film they're watching walks in, and he's clearly a gaijin, a foreigner, and is like, says something like sappy in English, like he recognizes the guy's face, and it's like the greatest English I've ever heard. Like, it's actually spoken. It's still English, but it's spoken very clearly.
Spoken very clearly and quite well, honestly.
Yeah.
Well,
And it leaves such an impression on him. It's weird.
Yeah.
with that,
Final
Realm,
thoughts.
you want to give your final thoughts?
Yeah. So I absolutely hated this show. Like, even after like the first arc, I still hated it for the most part. It had moments, And in isolation, I would say that discarding the first arc, it would be okay. It'd be watchable. But the first arc, and the rest of the cringe within this series makes it completely unwatchable. Please go watch Other Slice of Life. Just please. 3 out of 10.
Knick-knack.
Okay, if that first arc were gone, for me it'd be on the level of something like Snow or Classroom of the Elite, where I didn't like it, but I could recognize the appeal. That first arc, though, really, really burns. Like, horribly. So, I give it a dumpster fire out of 10.
You know who I think this appeals to, in my opinion? In my opinion, this appeals to 60-year-old greasy-haired weebs still living in their mother's basements. And for that, I don't see its appeal to anyone in general, period. And I hate it.
Actually,
I hate all the characters. I hate everything about it. I genuinely did not like a single moment of this, and it was physically hard to force myself to sit through it. I don't even hate it enough to be funny about my rating score. I just give it a 0 out of 10, period.
All right. Vorn?
This is about as close as hentai can try to be without actually it not being
Oh no,
hentai.
Really
it can
not.
get closer.
It's really not.
Etchy is...
That feels
This is
like
very, very,
This is-
T-rated.
As much as we've been harping on it, this is surprisingly tamed what you can do.
Well, still, this is a fucking piece of shite. If you're going to watch something like this, you might as well just go watch hentai. 2 out of 10.
I'm going to say one more thing. It also has worse animation quality for a 2010 show.
Well, yeah, to be expected.
So
Yeah.
animated better or worse than Fate Stay Night?
Worse.
Worse.
Oh yeah, I do want to
Worse.
ask this. Supposedly the light novel, which on PS2
You
came
mean
out,
visual novel?
well, visual novel on the PS2, when it came out, it actually was pretty good. It got high ratings.
But we're not talking
We're
about...
not-
This
not
thing is
playing
a
it.
fucking
I
dumpster
was
fire.
like, we're not
Okay,
talking about
I
visual.
assume you don't have to play that one route, but here we're
Yeah.
watching it in order. So if you
Yeah.
like that kind of thing, maybe people like the other routes they played, but we only
Yeah.
went through 3 routes. We went through them in order, and
Also,
they were all pretty
we're
bad.
not playing the game.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter.
If you really want to watch the show, don't go play the visual novel. Bye-bye.
Alright. With that being said, it is time to draw
Yep.
for the week.
Roll that wheel!
It's not a wheel.
You don't know where
You
the
know,
wheel
we were
is.
really hoping that something big would be pulled, so
What?
that we could get some stuff out of the way, because we've hit the point in the
Did
hat
it really just
that-
happen?
that we're we have so many things added that we're not adding any new names, we're just adding repeats. And with that being said,
Did
we drew something that only has one submission in behind it.
Well,
Akatsuki no Yona, 13 to 24.
Oh my god! We're
Again?
gonna finish the series.
God damn
So,
it!
We're going to be finishing Akatsuki no Yona for this week, and our hat is no closer to empty than when we started. With that being said, try